Welcome back, Smegheads, and welcome to Smug Mode, a Red Dwarf podcast where we discuss the British cult sci-fi classic comedy Red Dwarf. I'm Ben, joined by Tom, Dan, and Troy. Smooth. Today, sorry, Troy, I'm talking over you guys. And today we start our season 3 discussion, starting with episode 1 backwards. Smug Mode is now engaged. Dan, over to you.
Red Dwarf 3. The saga continues. The story so far. 3 million years in the future, Dave Lister, the last human being alive, discovers he is pregnant after a liaison with his female self in a parallel universe. His pregnancy concludes with the successful delivery of twin boys, Jim and Bexley. However, because they were conceived in another universe with a different physical laws, they suffer from highly accelerated growth rates and are both 18 years old within 3 days of being born. In order to save their lives, Lister returns them to the universe of their origin, where they are reunited with their father, a woman, and are able to lead comparatively normal lives. Well, as normal as you can be if you've been born in a parallel universe and your father's a woman and your mother's a man and you're 18 years old 3 days after your birth. Shortly afterwards, Crichton, the service mechanoid who had left the ship after being rescued from his own crashed vessel in the Nova 5, is found in pieces. After his spacebike crash lands onto an asteroid, Lister rebuilds the Noid, but he fails to recapture his former personality. Meanwhile, Holly, the increasingly erratic Red Dwarf computer, performs a head sex change operation on himself. He bases his new face on Hilly, a female computer with whom he'd once fallen madly in love. And now the saga continuums. Red Dwarf 3, the same generation, nearly.
Basically, we've sorted all the background shit before we started season 3.
That's the stuff that you failed to read at the beginning of season 3, but went, oh, look, they're doing Star Wars.
I was about to ask, did anyone bother reading it? But obviously, someone did. See, I didn't check the internet. Dan, smart boy. So, what does everyone think of Backwards, the first episode of season 3? Because I think it's a strong start.
Yeah, they used the parallel events, so it was a solid start, to be fair.
It's got features as well.
This is my favourite season.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Interesting.
Well, the new theme tune is in now. So it feels like the Red Dwarf that I know. That iconic theme tune now, the faster pace, dun 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 dun. It just
the writing in this is great.
And Robert Llewellyn always he feels as Crichton that he's already just walked in and he's been there the whole time, which is quite amazing to watch.
Yeah, they just kind of accept that he's there.
Yeah, just there exists there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, we start with the Wilma and Betty debate in the bunk with Lister. The iconic, she never knew Fred. You know.
Well, I would go with Betty, but I'd be thinking of Wilma. Sorry.
Thomas loving that.
It's one of my favourite lines ever.
It's great.
And then followed up with this is crazy, she'll never leave Fred and we know it.
And it's because it's said in that accent as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
She'll never leave Fred and we know it.
Yeah, I love it. That's the Barney Rubber, Scouse of Barney Rubber. You're right, Fred. I can't do a Fred accent.
Really?
A Barney accent. But now I'm
But they're meant to be based on like New York and Chicago accents.
Yeah, well, basically
Yeah.
You like Fred. That sounds weird. See, now it sounds Scouser. There's no
That
difference.
sounds weird.
Just give it up, Ben.
I think there's something wrong with the gearbox.
Very, very, very true.
So basically, with season 3, they moved to London and got given like a triple the sized budget because the BBC finally went, you know what, this show is popular.
Yeah, pop it.
Yeah.
Which is why it's then changed to that far more kind of standard sitcom-y, showing a few bits from episodes at the beginning with a kind of catchy theme tune.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I always preferred the one from season 1 and season 2 because it was more like a space odyssey.
Yeah.
It felt more like that kind of thing. So I like that. I mean, I started watching Red Dwarf in season 3, so I only knew it with the version that we now get.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at it objectively, it was kind of cool when it was kind of almost like an indie thing for the first 2 seasons, and then it became far more kind of mainstream in its style.
Was that the build? Remember the build when it used to be old school, now it just then became like more Americanized later on.
I mean, I get why, and it's a format that works, so the BBC are going to do it.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Go on.
Who do you prefer, male or female Holly? Because I, for some reason, always prefer female Holly just a bit more. I love both of them. I think Hattie Hayridge is my Holly.
Well, see, that's the thing. When I started watching Red Dwarf, Hattie Hayridge was Holly.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Holly had been a male computer until...
Originally, the male Holly was her dad. And then I found out he had a sex change. I was like, oh, okay, right, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's because you realise that he became obsessed with the character he met at the end. The reality of it is that the show moved to recording partly in Manchester, but more in London. And Norman Lovett moved to Edinburgh between seasons 2 and 3, and he didn't want to do the travel, so that's why he left. That's one of the main reasons why he left.
Okay.
Was he just didn't want to travel that far. Because he was happy to travel down for like recording, but he didn't want to come down and rehearse. And they went, no, we need you to rehearse. And he just went, no, sod that, and left.
Forget that. Forget it.
I mean, I kind of get it from both sides, but
yeah.
He will not be back until season 8.
Season 8. Yeah.
7?
No, end of season 7. Last moments of season 7.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Wow.
Miss him. But I just want to talk about the new bunks while they're talking about the Flintstones. First, it's like a really big design set. But then you realise, and this is a couple of episodes later, I didn't catch this, through officer quarters, they've obviously gone up to the higher ranking, nicer bunks up in the promotion parts of Red Dwarf, and that's decontaminated officer quarters. They've obviously got the nicer bunks now.
But that's not actually the reason. It's just they did a revamp of the sets.
Yeah, but they were clever enough to put officer quarters just to have a reason for it. I love that little attention to detail.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'll give you that. But that wasn't actually done in the original. That's you're watching the they were obviously remastered in the late 90s. And so those little details were added in, I think. Because people had said, why did that change?
Okay.
Who let George Lucas in at the BBC, for fuck's sake?
George Lucas.
Fucking prick.
But I mean, you're right. The attention to detail is fantastic, but it was kind of a retcon when they realised years later because people went, oh, why is it all changed? Because that is kind of one of my bugbears is where did they get the new clothes from? How the hell did Rimmer's clothing change?
I love his Wizard of Oz emerald green. I
love the costume. I absolutely love the costume. I think it suits him beautifully. But how the hell did that change? And how did the engine room change? They don't explain any of this shit. They just updated it. And
but it's like Doctor Who. It's like Doctor Who, though, isn't it? It's like Doctor Who, isn't it? It changes.
Yes, but they don't even give that as an excuse.
Doctor Who.
Well,
even if they'd used Doctor Who and said the engine room had a TARDIS-like regeneration, that's fine. I wouldn't have minded that. It's the fact that they just do it and go, no one will notice.
I'm just going to say now, Red Dwarf, the thing with Red Dwarf is, because between seasons, they just get rid of characters here and there. I would just get used to it. Between seasons, they change things up. I go with it.
I always assume...
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't destroy the series. It's just little bugbears of, well, hang on.
I always assumed that Red Dwarf was that massive that you could basically have all of the things that they have there somewhere in the ship. And because they have the run of the ship, they basically rotate around the place just to keep some kind of, I don't know,
sanity.
Semblance of sanity.
Yeah. Has to be sanity.
I get that, but the engine room would always be the engine room. You know what I mean?
I also assumed that was really huge.
Yeah.
Maybe, I suppose.
Yeah, it'd be massive.
I've forgotten to talk about the plot because Rimmer gives Crichton a driving lesson in Starbug.
It's his driving test, actually.
Yeah.
Which is the first time we see Starbug.
The Starbug.
It is,
One.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was an upgrade on the Blue Midget, yeah.
They find themselves being whisked away through a time hole and end up on Earth where time is running backwards. I love this episode. Don't know how they filmed it. If the background actors were filmed going backwards, or I don't know how they've done it.
They basically recorded it forwards and then put it in reverse.
Yeah, it's went backwards, yeah.
But the actors are talking forwards, so the background actors. See, this is where I'm confused. I don't know how they've done it.
No, but you don't have people kind of talking whilst the main characters are talking backwards. It's only when they interact with people that they talk backwards.
Yeah, you gotta be smart about it, yeah.
And the rest of it's just background noise that they've overlaid afterwards.
Editing.
So they talked normal, but then they just put the audio in afterwards to go backwards to cover it. Okay.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I do think though Rimmer looks a bit like Green Captain Scarlet.
It's Scarlet. One of the shows.
Little emerald green Captain Scarlet.
He kind of looks a bit boss though.
He does.
He does. He looks like a badass motherfucker.
Let's go.
I did want to just say the booster seat made me laugh more than it should have when he accidentally Crichton sends Rimmer through the off on the booster seat. That made me laugh. I had to pause because I don't know why. It's such a simple joke, but
I love the setup joke for it as well.
Yeah.
The one where they're going over the stuff beforehand, and Crichton's like, I think there's something wrong with the gearbox. The thing is, I learned to drive in Starbug 2. I'm not used to the controls in Starbug 1. I'm not used to the controls in Starbug 2. Remember, they're exactly the same. And yes, that's the problem.
I find time hole joke is funny. And then the next episode, they do the asteroid. So it's almost like, once again, it's behind Rimmer again. Like, it's like, also, I found watching them back to back because Marooned is very similar. Two people get stuck somewhere and the other two have to go save them. It's a bit back to back. It's kind of amazing how both episodes feel very different, but the setup's quite the same.
It's not quite the same, but it's because of the relationships of the people that it's such a different episode.
Yeah, but
because Rimmer believes himself to be above Lister and Crichton, but Crichton's the only one who acts as if he's actually subservient to Rimmer.
Yeah, but that's why I love Red Dwarf, because both episodes feel really, really different.
Marooned, when we get to it, is
brilliant.
A brave way to kind of play with a sitcom.
Yeah. I have a question. When they crash,
yes.
I want to know where Rimmer and Crichton get the fucking boat from. Where did they get the hovercraft from? You know me now. I'm a plot picker. I will find things.
It must have been a boat in Starbug. What's your problem?
Yeah.
There was one. Done.
Too deep.
I think you named this channel Ben versus Free Fuckers.
Oi,
come on! What the hell is that about?
The Megheads, please.
Exactly.
United. I do find though people with Claire coming at the mouth backwards is quite sickening though.
I think that backwards is just this really the whole idea is really, really simple.
Rob Grant and
the fact that you've got the two different journeys going on, right?
Yeah.
You've got the one with one set of reasoning and one with another set of reasoning. And that's it's brilliantly characterized by when they find the milestone.
Yeah.
Oh, Nodnall.
Yeah. And that, the two separate ways that they deal with that, and then how that informs every single other decision that they make. That was an indicator to me, this series, when I first watched it, that this was going to be something different. There was going to be some extra in there.
Exactly.
Oh, it's just, it's really, really nice. It's very good writing.
Okay.
Especially, you
go on.
find out about the cat. The cat really in this episode just basically confirms what we already know. He don't like nobody. There are multiple instances where he tells all three of them to basically fuck off and just use responsibility.
I think one of my favourite things is that get used to it. They gone, buddy. But on the bright side, they gone, buddy. They gone.
He also perms his leg hairs, so I don't know what to make of that.
He's a cat. He just doesn't give a shit about anybody unless they're
no
feeding
one.
him. That
But
is
he
basically it.
He will perm his leg hairs, and his jacket, his black fluffy jacket, is sick. I love it.
You perm your leg hairs just as an aid to the natural curl. But yeah, I was reading. You know, a lot of the dialogue in it is obviously said backwards.
Yeah.
I always kind of wondered what was said, and I found that there was actually one bit they put in. I don't know if any of you have come across this. You know when Arthur Thingy comes in, he's the guy who runs the pub that the Sensational Reverse Brothers work in.
Oh, yeah.
To tell them they're fired, and he's kind of giving them that rant. Do you know what it actually says? They wrote it in reverse, but it actually says, "I'm addressing the one prat in the country who bothered to get hold of the recording, turn it round, and actually work out the rubbish that I'm saying. What a poor, sad life he's got."
Oh wow, that's savage.
So yeah, I just love the fact that they actually went and did that.
That's savage. You know they're gonna get him at some point. They're gonna get him.
Well, they knew somebody was going to see what the reverse stuff said.
Oh jeez, that's everything.
But yeah, I mean, it's a solid start to a series. It's got lots of good jokes in it.
Absolutely.
I mean, the on-rumble is just the bar fight in reverse is hilarious.
I've just figured out what happens to my back.
Yeah. They very cleverly, when they land on Earth, Lister does say he feels his back and his rib is gone. He's like broken. Really clever. Yeah. Also, this is the first time we see that there's two Starbugs. I did find, you know what? Can I just put something out? Because obviously Rimmer and when they arrive, we see them both arrive, so we see them both do the knob joke. Did you notice how Lister and Kat never saw anything go backwards? So it takes them a while to lock on that things go backwards. Because they never look at the guy, the driver. They never look at him walk backwards.
It's only the bikes.
Yeah. That's really clever. I didn't notice that before. Originally, I wrote down, Lister and Kat stupid, kind of not touch backwards. But then my wife pointed out, then literally, she said, look at them. They're not looking at the driver. It's very clever. Because Rimmer, Lister and Crichton and Rimmer already see all this stuff going on. They figure it out. It's only until they're in the pub that they figure it out. Very clever. Very small attention to detail.
Can I point out another detail?
Yeah.
You know, the club owner,
Arthur Smith. Yeah.
When he's doing his rant, does anyone know what he says in that hidden backwards rant?
Yeah.
You're a stupid, square-headed, bold git, aren't you? I'm pointing at you, but I'm not actually addressing you.
I'm addressing the one prat in the country who's bothered to get hold of this recording.
That's it. Wikipedia, baby.
Turn it around and work out the rubbish that I'm saying.
I actually found that on IMDb, not Wikipedia, but yeah.
I found it on WikiQuote.
Yeah.
I do love the Smart Party.
Yeah.
And then can I just say, I think Doug Naylor and Rob Grant hate Bulgaria because they really give a real shafting in this episode. Don't know if they had a shit holiday over there or something, but my God. I counted 12 Bulgaria rants in this episode.
Fair enough. Just out of interest, you know just going back to like the costume changes and stuff, you know the jacket that Lister wears?
Yeah.
It's got like a generic half-naked woman on the back of it.
Mm.
You know that was originally supposed to be Wilma Flintstone.
Oh.
It was supposed to be Wilma Flintstone, and they couldn't get the rights to use her image.
Oh snap!
Oh, okay.
Speaking of facts as well, I was looking at the,
Weird little bit of trivia for you.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming that given the language that we use on this podcast, this isn't a podcast that's intended for children.
Fuck no.
No. Fuck
All
no.
right. So in that case, this shouldn't be necessary. And if anyone here actually gets a spoiler from what I'm about to talk about, then the fuck's wrong with you?
This is
Go
for
on.
fans.
At one point, they're talking about not everything being right in the backwards universe.
Yeah.
And they talk about Santa Claus.
What a
And they
bastard.
talk about him being more a bastard. But then again, like, Santa Claus isn't real. Spoilers. That means in that universe, in that place where they are, every fucking Christmas, the parents go and take whichever toy the kid has been playing with the most the day before
And get rid of it.
and fucking take it to the store and get money back for it.
But but what I love is the script keeps going. But what happens if this? There's a beautiful thing where it goes about war ends. I mean, you go back inside your mother. She goes back inside your grandmother. But it's also really sad because eventually the end of the world is going to happen because they're going backwards.
Yeah, but then the Big Bang will happen again and it all will start again.
Yeah, but that's what I like about the script. It says about all the nice things that happen. There's no death. You start as an old man. You come back from death.
Yeah, but then you
I
also
can't
get Lister's
remember-
take on that, which is I'm 25 in 15 years. I'm going to go through puberty in reverse.
So, like, did anyone read, like, the Point horror and the Point books whenever they were younger?
Yes.
Right, so this has just occurred to me, right? This whole concept of going in reverse, and then what you said, Tom, of then the Big Bang will happen and it'll start again. That reminds me of a book. Can't remember what it was called. Dude was like left in a spaceship until the end of time, and then it started all over again, and he relived his life during his time period by landing again.
I don't remember that one.
Whoa.
I
What
think
book is
ended
that?
up murdering himself.
It sounds like a point horror kind of book, yeah.
Can I just say, maybe I missed this. You know when Lister says, "No, sorry, mate, we don't speak Bulgarian. You speak English." The truck driver says, "Sorry, I'm English. Are you Bulgarians?"
Yeah, so he understands what they're saying, even though they are speaking in reverse to him to what he's speaking, yeah.
They're still kicking Bulgaria again. It's beautiful.
I don't think it was anti-Bulgaria, because he's not saying nasty things about Bulgaria. He's just saying
funny how it's always Bulgaria.
they just picked... Well, I mean, actually, there's... In season 6, Rimmer has a go at the Bulgarians as well. I just suddenly realised.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it's as plain as a Bulgarian pin-up.
I do love how the cat figures out to steal the money from the charity because, you know, no one's going to get angry there. That's quite funny. And also the cat goes to take a shit at the end.
He's in the bushes, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
Right to the hole. Just don't ask.
That facial expression is just priceless. They allow Cat to get taken down a peg or two more in this series than they have in the others.
He needs it a little
Well, he
bit.
seems more human in this series as well. He's more part of the crew.
Yeah, he's more like fleshed out.
But I mean, I was thinking about this. That's actually what a cat is like. They're very standoffish when they first meet you, and then the more they get to know you, the more likely they are to actually do stuff
Good point.
with and for you. So it actually kind of follows the true pattern of what a cat is like.
Before we go, I just wanted to ask you guys very quickly before we wrap up.
Mhm.
Did you think that the end song sounds a little bit different?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Straight away,
they-
that was one of the first things I thought during those credits.
Yeah,
Must
they've
be a
amped
new
up.
mix.
I swear it's different for later seasons. I swear for later seasons they go back to the original from season 1 and 2. This is just a season 3 recording, right?
I don't know is the honest answer.
Literally, I
That's
can't
the
remember.
thing as we go along, because I swear if we go back to 4 or 5, I've watched some stuff recently on Dave, and those credits sound like the original season 1 and 2 recording. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that.
Hey.
Okay, so what do you think? Troy, you've barely spoken a word. Please use some of your oxygen.
Literally, man, I'm just literally, my eyes are trying to stay awake right now. I'm literally faded. from working. But
Go back in the cupboard if you want.
Good. That's why I'm listening to all the great points you guys are saying. But I say, man, the set design reminded me because I was reading up on it as well. Said about inspiration from Alien, Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, this is actually sick. I was like, oh, I'm a massive Alien fan, by the way, if anyone knows that.
Until we get to the Alien references big time.
Massive sci-fi horror guy. That's the guy I am. But the whole storyline with the parallel universe and stuff like that, mixing it all together, man. This show is so good. This season is going to be solid, yo. We got some stuff for you. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So good. But this is a good start off. Good launching pad for the rest of the season. Great storylines kicking off. Lister, Cat, love him, as you know.
So where do we place this? Like, is it a decent episode? It's one of my favorites.
It's a decent episode, yeah.
Everybody remembers it as everyone that does, even if you don't know Red Dwarf, you know the backwards episode. It's one of the go-tos.
It's probably my third favorite of season 3.
Oh,
that's strong competition this season.
Third favorite, all right.
It made me laugh a lot. There was no down period where I was bored.
No.
That is a normal Red Dwarf script.
But it's like most of Red Dwarf, innit? You're not really bored with the episodes. Just you either like them more than the others. It's not really bored each episode, really.
But it just kept going. There were no dead bits. The jokes landed.
Yeah. Solid.
Didn't need loads of complicated sci-fi. Everyone can understand a backwards Earth. Very clever.
That's the thing with Red Dwarf. It uses the simple stuff well. So most shows where they get bogged down all this technical stuff, just like overcomplicated. It's like they don't do that. They explain something and it's literally just flesh it out throughout the season. That's it. And they're good, solid.
What about you, Tom and Dan?
Repeat the question.
What did you think of the episode?
I love it. Quite honestly, I was captivated by it. First time I saw it, I don't think I've lost any enjoyment of it now that this is the 27th or 28th time I've seen this episode.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah, there's a few episodes that I've watched a lot of, and quite a lot of them are in this series.
But you did say it was your favourite, I guess.
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah, like I say, I love this episode. It's probably number 3 in season 3 for me.
Okay. We will see better. All right.
Well, I don't know if we see better. There's just ones that I enjoy more. Objectively, this is a fantastic piece of work.
This is a good season.
Solid
4 right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. We better smug off out of here then. Right.
All right.
It's goodbye for me.
Bye for me.
Bye for me.
And goodbye from me.
Fucking smug off, you bastards.